good evening, good evening. Welcome back on the Real Talk with lovely, lavish Lavi. Tonight, I am so excited, people. I am really excited. I just feeling wonderful, and it's just good to know that you are still alive, well, and breathing. So, Radioland, Internet world, a pleasant good evening to you. Once again, it is just, like I said, beautiful to be back here on a beautiful Wednesday night right down here in Sweet Sugar City. Tonight I have here in the studios with me none other than Jason. Hey, Jason.
Yeah, good night to each and everyone out there in the internet world, Radio Land as well.
Mm-hmm. How was your day?
Very, very good. I slept most of it.
Most of it?
Yeah, I didn't do no work today.
Okay, because I was going to ask you, well, what kind of work you did today, but Monday, rest day. He's a man, you work hard.
Yeah, man.
He's a family man.
Exactly.
You know, how was your weekend in terms of Father's Day?
Father's Day, I didn't really do much.
Much?
Yeah.
So the wifey do everything. Did the children do anything?
I just went beach.
They went beach?
Yeah.
So they didn't do nothing special for daddy?
Nah.
They're being children regardless, right?
Yep.
Fathers, they are not. You still have to be a father.
As a father, 365 days a year, so one day doesn't really mean nothing.
All right. So tonight we're going to be having in the studios with us Marva Pringle, and she's going to be joining us via Zoom. But, you know, I got to let people know that Marva is from Newton. Or should I say Pans Pasture? Yeah. Would that be Newton still or just Bastille?
Yeah, Newton still.
Yeah, Newton people, Pans Pasture is a bit different from...
Part
of the area?
Yeah, Newton still.
Okay. I like the fact that, you know, you guys can identify yourself. Because, you know, when you think of St. Peter's, everybody just throw everybody in and say Monkey Hill, eh?
Yeah.
And, you know, Lower Monkey Hill and Upper Monkey Hill is a part of St. Peter's.
Yep.
You have Parry Village, you have Stapleton, you have all the different, you know, villages in there. So it's good to identify and let people know where our guest Marva is from. And Marva is up there in Florida. And she left the Federation
A number of years ago.
Years ago to you know, for school and, you know, make sure she get the education. So she will be joining us tonight, and we're gonna be talking about you know, the importance of fathers basically in the society and within the family as well. Yes. So, folks, if you're just in tune, this is Real Talk. We have moved from Mondays. We're now on Wednesdays. Still trying to, you know, settle in. Sometimes I forget that is tonight. But the adjustment, you know, I really miss the Mondays, but I really feel more comfortable with the
Wednesdays.
On the Wednesdays, right? So if you're just in tune, just let everyone know that when we will no longer be on Mondays, we're going to be on Wednesdays. And I've got to take some time out to always thank you guys for tuning in, for, you know, just being there, you know, bringing certain topics and, you know, making sure that you keep the Real Talk, you know, help us to be focused and really bring the message in what we intend to be here when it comes to really bringing grassroots programs.
To the forefront.
Yeah, to the forefront, the information and, you know, looking out for the people. Like some people will say, you know, Real Talk is for the voiceless. But I find that the voiceless is us. So we go hand in hand. So, Marva, if you're on, let me know. Marva, can you say hi if you're hearing me? I guess she says she have to sign in again.
Okay.
All right. So, Marva, if you're hearing me, please say hi. Okay, Marva, are you muted? Did you muted? Okay. Can you say hi if you're hearing me, please? She just replied here to me on WhatsApp saying hi. She said she signed in. Can you say hi on your mic? Because I'm not hearing you.
Can you check and see if your mic is muted?
She said give her a minute. Can you play a song or something if you don't mind? E-
Yeah, so music festival is like what, next week? Yep.
Um, I don't know if I'm the best. Yes, I don't know if I'm the best person to be speaking about music festival right at this moment because I have not really been following it like
Okay.
I ought to. I guess the whole cricket thing, and there was a number of well, I don't want to get myself in trouble, but a few Indians,
Yeah.
they reach out to me because they know I do this show, Real Talk with Lavi, and they say, Lavi, the music festival this year, they said, the cricket, especially the last lap,
Yeah.
the finals of the cricket is going to be in Barbados.
Yep.
And they said that they have over 21 people, Indians, are going to be going to Barbados. So I don't know if the music festival could have done anything in terms of changing timing because I'm sure they will have already booked these people in advance. What do you think about
But
that,
you
Mabu?
see, changing at a last minute could be very costly in terms of advertising and all those.
Folks, it seems as if Marv are probably having some issues. She was signed in, good to go and everything, so I don't know. But these things happen. All right? So, Marv, if you're hearing me, don't panic. I mean, just say hi. Yes, hi. Just say hello whenever you're ready. Just come on in. We're right here. Okay. All right. So she's getting ready to come back in. Hi, Marv. Are you hearing me? Apparently, we can see something going on that she's having some difficulties. But yes, I was telling you about what some of these persons was, talking because, St. Kitts is a melting pot right now.
But you're not the first one who said it. We're not the first one who said it.
Mm-hmm. And well, it's not just me. I'm the messenger. Remember, I'm the voice for the voiceless. Well, it's not just 21 people. I mean, that person only mentioned. I mean, what about the other people that are not really saying anything that's going to be outside of the federation as well?
Yeah, then there are a lot of cricket enthusiast people who usually do music fests, but they are cricket fans also. So, that's kind of struggle between them.
But let me ask you a question. Is this the time the cricket test match that always happen? Because when...
No, it's World Cup, T20.
Okay, but when St. Kitts used to host it, we would have music festival, but would it be around...
No, what we host is CPL.
CPL. All right, so this is something that basically is happening. It's like
every 4 years, something like that.
All right. So, young people can still go out.
Exactly. Well, we have enough people in St. Kitts to fill the grounds,
Well, that is true,
especially the young people.
Of course. But, the music festival, St. Kitts Music Festival has set such a high standard of having people from the different various islands coming in.
Yeah.
So we might lose some of them because they're all heading to Barbados.
Yep.
Right? And it is what it is. And we cannot be ignorant and ignore people and just say, well, it's just 21 people, because it is more than 21 people that's going to head to Barbados.
Yeah.
Right? It would have been nice if the cricket was here, because we'll have had all those people coming to St. Kitts. Hotels will have been full, people that do Airbnb, the food, people that sell clothing, people have been making some money, the hairdressers, the barbers, the spas.
Still gonna make money.
More money to be made. We can't have enough when it comes to money. All right. Hi, Marva. Are you hearing me? Oh, Lord. No, she's... could you unmute? That's the thing with Zoom, right? It's always like a...
Yeah, you have a problem. Even
hit and a miss.
during the pan.
Good evening.
Oh, good evening. I know. It's new tongue your family and this year must have happened, eh?
I'm not a new town. I'm from Ponce Pasture.
I glad you correct.
Same, same, same.
Listen, I glad you correct me because when I tell people I am not from Monkey Hill, I'm from St. Peter's, and they're different villages. So you go and correct me, it's fine. So Pants Pasture
I
Lady, how are you?
I am doing great, being thankful, and I just want to give you thanks for giving me the invitation to be on your platform, and also to thank Win FM. And I want to say good night to my nephew Marvin.
Yeah.
Well, Mabo, Jason, whatever we want to call him. And when you extended the invitation to me, I was really excited because I said the topic we were going to be speaking about tonight is so befitting because Father's Day just passed a few days ago. And so I the topic is really befitting, and we also have to look at the spate of increase in murders we have of the young men in our country, and pretty much in our culture. I like to say our culture because our black culture or urban culture, we call it here in the United States. So,
Right.
and I think that we have to really take a look at the fatherlessness that I think is plaguing our society. So, I was really excited to when you gave me the invitation, and I said, it's time for us to really have a conversation about the men. We have
Right.
conversation about the women all the
All
time,
the
but
time.
we don't have conversation about the men. So, and my nephew, Myron, is a dad, so I'm glad he's here to pretty much give his insight also in this discussion.
Absolutely. Um, Marva, also, it seems as if like I want to say thank you as well because just the fact that you was able to accept to be here and have this conversation, it is very good because a number of people, when you ask them, a lot of people don't want to come on the airways because the airways basically could be nice, it could be not so nice because there are persons out there just waiting to just criticize, attack, and just, have nothing basically to bring. So I decided not to focus so much on the people that when they say no, but just continue and, just happy to know that if I can't get them from here, then we're going to scout them out wherever they
Yeah,
be.
yeah,
Right, Marvin?
yeah.
And
Absolutely.
right. So tell us a little bit about yourself. I know we have an hour, but just quickly tell us a little bit of who you are. I know you say you're from Pans
Well,
Pasture, but give us a little history of maybe your family. 5 minutes I
my
give
name
you.
is Marva Pringle, Dolphin, and I like to, I usually like to when I'm having conversations, introduce myself, and I like to tell folks that I'm one of 14,
Yep.
one of 14 kids, and we've lost two brothers over the past recent years. So I love having a big family. I don't think I would ever think about not having a big family. I love having a big family. I was born and raised in Ponds Pasture, and well, I'm a Newtowner. I'm proud to say I'm a Newtowner. I went to Newtown School, Bastille Junior High and Bastille High School, and then I moved to the United States over about 22 years to pursue studies. Then I did my bachelor's, and then I went and I did my master's in human resources. And I've worked in the HR field and benefits field and also the academics field. So for a while, and I think working in the academic field has really it enabled me to see how fatherlessness affect children because working with children and they have those kind of issues where some of the kids have never had a father in their home. Some of them have been they don't even know their father from at birth. So, as I said, this topic is befitting because it was just Father's Day a few days ago. And I also think that it is befitting because I think it's time for the men to take their homes back. So,
And
and
sorry, Marva, you said something that you came from a family of 14. And you will have had a father in that home with 14, right?
Yes, but he died early.
absolutely,
And I'm asking you, and Marvin is answering, so which means Marvin, that will be your granddad, right? Your
Yeah,
grandfather.
yeah, of course.
So you
absolutely,
see what we're talking about. We would have had
absolutely.
the immediate and extended family being in the family, active in the family, with very little resources too.
Yep, but
Absolutely. My dad worked in the sugar industry, and my mom worked in at one on the industrial site at Sun Island Close. And with that, they were enabled to send us to school and give us an education on very little resources. I've seen my parents sacrifice not having for us to have. So, and I didn't have my father for a long time because he died when I was 8. He actually died on my birthday. So my birthdays are usually bittersweet because he died on that day. So every birthday, yes, I celebrate a birthday, but it's still a day that because he died on that day, it's still a day, for reflection where, it's still a loss. And I'm still, it's enough. It's a loss, yes, but it's an opportunity to celebrate life because every year that we add on to our life, I mean, it's precious. It's a blessing.
Right. Well, I'm sorry to hear about your dad. Condolences, even though it was a while ago. But you said that your dad died, and we're talking about fathers in the home. I'm assuming that your dad will have had other children where your brothers or your uncles will have continued that role,
yeah.
that father role, brother role, elderly role in your home. How was that impactful for you?
Absolutely. Is when my dad died, my brothers, well, everybody stepped in and helped each other. We all banded together. My 7 brothers, they pretty much they were like my dad because they were the one who molded us, especially the younger ones. I could remember when I was writing my overseas exam, one of my brother, Halfa Dolphin, he actually paid. I was writing 7 subjects at O levels at the same time, and he paid for it. He paid for my to for you know to for me to write those exams. So even though my father died, there was still the men in the family, the extended family, the men especially, who stepped up to take that role, that leadership role in the home as a father.
And they are
I
continuing what
remember
they will
my
have
brothers doing
seen.
homework, and actually, I'm a sports fanatic, and my brothers is who actually molded us into like all the girls in the family love sports, and my brothers is who actually taught us the games, and because we would watch sports with them. So,
Right.
so having that father and a father figure is important in the home and
Exactly.
in our society.
And evidently, your brothers will actually continue what they will have seen from your father.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I think what is
And then
missing in our society, and I don't want to be biased, but we live right here from St. Kitts Nevis, and sometimes we have to deal with what is in front of us instead of we trying to take on other people,
Yeah.
because we always have a tendency to say, well, somebody else, or we look for excuses. But we live here in the Federation, and we'll talk with Lavi is basically doing anything that we can motivate and inspire others to be their best. And when I think of the men in our society, I think we have lost our way. I don't think we actually valuing families. You see in persons of some basically telling you they don't like the family, they don't like the parents, they don't like the siblings, they don't everything is they don't like, and it is easy to gravitate to a stranger and put your problems or whatever you have to them because they don't know your mother, you know?
Absolutely. The thing about it too, Lavi, is that we, a father is not just a male parent. And if you look in the Bible, you can see the blueprint of what a father is supposed to be. And a father has many facets. Like I always tell people, a father is a protector, he's a provider, and he's supposed to be the disciplinarian in the family. When I say provider, for me, from my standpoint, I think it's a sense of duty for a man to provide for his family. And even though in our society now we have two parent households where a lot of the women, and now in our society, a lot of women are making more money than the men, I still think it's a duty for the man or the father to fulfill. I know when we were growing up, you would always hear older folks say, a real man bring home the bacon. So even if the female is making more money than the man, you should embrace that opportunity and see it as a sense of duty for you to take care of your family and a protector. I always say the father to me is the person who gives the children coping skills. For example, in terms of handling certain external dangers. For example, like I know when I was growing up and you had a bully in school, my dad used to tell us, oh, when someone hits you, you got to hit them back, or you got to fight back, or just or if it's a dangerous situation, like a dangerous stranger or a dog, but just being that protectant. And another layer of being a protectant to as a father is that one, as a father, you should be observing your children's social environment, meaning that you should know who your children, who they're hanging with, who their friends are, who their peers are, and where they're going. Like we have children and we don't know where they're going. I'm an adult and I don't ever leave my house and would not tell my sister where I'm going. Because as that form of protectancy, she knows that if I go to Publix, she knows that if something happens to me, she can tell
Exactly.
the police, well, my sister said she was going to Publix. And she knows, and we don't know, a lot of the time, we don't know where our kids are.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And as a disciplinarian, I'm old school, and I believe that the father should be the disciplinarian. And for me, I think that being the disciplinarian, I think that men tend to have really high expectations when it comes to their children. They want them to be successful and they want them to be better than them, to have a better life than them. But to me, in helping your children to be successful and to be that good human being, a good model citizen, and hard working and have good work ethics, it comes with a lot of tough love. It comes with a lot of hills and valleys and a lot of bruises. Because one, I think as a father, we have to teach our children how to handle impulses, how to stay level minded, how to deal with certain situation, hostile situation, dangerous situations, and even just a situation where they will not hurt themselves or they will not hurt anyone else. So I just think that I think, as I said, I think we've lost our way. And when I look at the spate of crime in St. Kitts, and I mean, I have to speak about St. Kitts because I'm a Kittitian.
Absolutely.
It breaks my heart because a lot of these young men that are being killed, I've seen them grow up as little kids, and I know their family. I know their parents, and some of them are even, they grew up in my community. So it just breaks my heart to see. And no parent should have to bury their child from gun violence. None. Because I've lost family members from illness, and it's heartbreaking. So I can't imagine how a lot of these parents are coping with the ills of just gun violence. And that's why I said that it's time for the men to take their home back. It's
But
time for us to the
but
men to
Marva,
take their homes back.
right, Marva, and you're absolutely right. But there's some men that are in men clothing, and a lot of them have not matured, and some people just are not father material or parent material, and I think that is because our society. I don't think that we are probably trying to do enough to raise more stronger. Should I say men or leaders?
Anyone's it's the same.
Right. I know you have been out of St. Kitts, but I know you know what is happening here because you keep involved and basically knowing what's going on here in St. Kitts. Do you?
Absolutely, yes, ma'am.
Right, to some extent. And the reason why I said that, Marva, I have been hearing a lot of people, this is they always think because once you leave the Federation, you no longer belong here. You're no longer supposed to even have a say to say something. What do you think about that, Marva?
Well, I believe a Kittitian is a Kittitian anywhere in the world.
But we are very, we come from a harsh
Yeah.
environment. And as Marva said, tough love. A lot of us get tough love. Today, you cannot use tough love and the children
Nah,
because,
I have a rebel.
our children are not even our children anymore. The state step in, right? I just think that people need to be creative, and this is 2024. And I know sometimes we want to come with the old school, but we're going to also have to add some creativity and know what's going on with the modern to know how to deal with children and try to make them not afraid of you, but basically want to engage and talk to you. And I think this comes as Marva said, you got to spend time with your family. It starts in the home. Fathers are not involved, and I guess people would say not every father, but we're talking about the situation at hand, right?
Well, from as a man, like from the time you start to getting children, your life's supposed to change. It's supposed to change you. I mean, I was alive every weekend I gone, and when I got my first child, I changed that
Yes.
because I woke up at the same money I spending in the one bar, right? I need to buy Pampers, milk, and whatever the child need. But before it was just all about me.
Yeah. I think sometimes, as you said, Mabo, I feel that selfishness has a lot to do with it too. And if you have not had that in the home, but sometimes we always like to say that it did not come in the home. You get it from somebody. We just see things because we're supposed to learn from others' experience. And look at Marva. Marva just was talking and she was telling us about, her dad died when he was 8, but she still had some memories.
And the same for me too. My dad died at an early age too.
Right.
Probably on the same.
Well, my dad died. I was, I think, 17 years old when he died. But my dad was a provider. He worked. He lime. He drink rum just like anybody else. But when it comes to Monday, Friday, he's working. Right? He had his trade and everything. And I think what is happening, Marva, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I think what is happening in what you call this next generation,
Gen Z.
I feel that, as Marva said, we don't have enough strong role models in the home, and a father don't necessarily have to be a father that have children, but a father image, just like a parent, and I'm saying not just a father but a mother, but as Marva said, it always has been the woman. So our black race, I think that our black men, the men are not. It's like the woman carrying the waist.
But you see, some of that come
Well,
from slavery too. Eh?
Yes.
the
Marva, what?
thing about it, Laverne, is
Mm-hmm.
that culturally, when something is embedded in you for so many years,
Mm-hmm.
how long we were in slavery over 400 years,
Exactly.
and you know the dynamics where our fathers were separated from the home because we were sold into slavery. But
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, still, we're not. Slavery is no longer here,
But that doesn't
and
change the mindset.
but you have to change your mindset though.
Absolutely. And that's come from exposure, knowledge. You got to teach and educate yourself because I feel, and I'm not knocking kitchens because I am a kitchen, but I know definitely if I never had that outer world experience and exposure, I don't think that I could have been the way how I am today. Because the things that some of us like dwelling on and holding on to, when you go out there, you have so much other things to hold on to, you know? And oh, by the way, not cutting you across, somebody is saying, Lavi, the young man, your co-host is right. Pants pasture is the new tongue. Is in new tongue, of course. Thank you. All right, Janet. Janet probably a strong new tongue. Yes, no problem, but I want to read this. She said it was given the name Pond's Pasture because years ago the land was swamp
Yeah,
land surrounded with
Absolutely.
ponds,
yeah.
two steps from Sandong Road, one location in the olden days. Your family members owned land in the area. Well, thanks for that, Janet. I had to
Yeah, I
get
was
that
told
in. Huh?
it was swamplands. It was swamplands that was built up by Mr. Bradshaw,
Mm-hmm.
and my parents got land there, and because originally they lived in Catty Alley
Mm-hmm.
in two wooden houses,
Mm-hmm.
and then they moved to Pons Pasture when they got the land from Mr. Bradshaw, and then eventually they built um, what we would call a wall house.
Mm-hmm.
So, but my mom is from Dead Bay,
Mm-hmm.
so the Dead Barian, but my dad is from your town. So,
Nice. And
but the thing about it too, I wanted to make another point is that I've had conversation here with some folks, and they'll tell me, "Oh, well, you don't have to have a father in the home
mm-hmm.
because look at certain people like LeBron James, and you have those one-offs, the
Exactly.
LeBron James, the Shaquille O'Neal, and a lot of other successful people in the world who didn't have their biological father around, but
Mm-hmm.
they'll tell you that they had a father figure in their life because LeBron will tell you that
His stepdad.
his dad wasn't
Exactly.
there,
Right.
but his coach was there to assist him in being the person that he is today. Shaq O'Neal will tell you that he had
A
his father,
stepdad.
his
Yeah.
stepfather, which is he always called Dad Phil or Uncle Phil.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you're not the biological dad, once sometimes when you have that male,
A male, that
the
masculine.
male who can be a
Leader.
leader and who can lead by
Yes.
example and who can show you and teach you how to be a man, that definitely helps. That definitely helps in molding you to be a good person, to be a man, and also to be a good father.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially
And
in raising boys.
Right. And you know something too, as I said, being a father comes in many ways because sometimes accident could happen. You might not have a father around, but that's where uncles comes in, cousins.
Mm.
You know, you have that nuclear family. You had, well, some people say that village that raise a child. We don't really have so much of that now, but I still feel that we need strong male figures, and to get a child, you have to be responsible. And
well, the thing
children
about it
and
is,
Marva, sorry, their children bringing children now. But I just want to say this
absolutely.
quickly before you jump in. Children bringing children, But that back in the days, children were still bringing children, but you had a home where the mother pick up the role as a grandparent.
Yeah.
Now you find that grandmothers don't even want children call them grandma and mama. They're telling
It's
them all
manner.
Because
kind
the
of
grandmother
glamour
35,
and all
35.
kind of different. Right, but it really doesn't matter with whatever age, because somebody 35 years versus being 15 is totally different. They will have at least have something to show, you know. But I just think that we we have lost our morals, and no matter what old school morals, you have to have discipline and principles in your home, you know. And if you don't have that, we're gonna lose our way.
Absolutely. Because even working in the academic field, we'll have events at the school. We'll have dances, we'll have fairs, we'll have PTA meetings, and the dads won't show up. The dads, you might have one or two, who might show up. Most of the time, it's either a grandmother or a mother or an aunt. So, and um, my thing is, I tell people if you're going to plant a seed, you should at least water it. And a lot of the times, the parents are not together. The parents they might not be in a good relationship. But I always tell people at the end of the day, the children are the most important aspect of the equation. And you can still be on amicable terms to to co-parent, to be a good parent. And I've seen that in many instances where some parents they don't care for each other, but they're great when it comes to co-parenting, because at the end of the day, the children are the most important aspect of the relationship.
Right.
And the statistics are there, even when it comes to, as we were talking about fatherlessness. I was reading an article a few weeks ago, and they, the institution that held the study, they studied 75 juveniles that were delinquent, meaning that they were some form involved in the judicial system, in the whether it's incarceration or has been arrested. And of the 75 young young men, well, it was male, that they pretty much did the study on, 66% of them said that they've experienced fatherlessness. 20% of them said that they have never had a father live in a home with them. And 35% of that same study that they did, that sample, said that they've either had a home with a very abusive father or a drug abuse father.
Wow.
So, and
And
that's where a lot of the ills, within our families, that's where a lot of the ills and the breakdown in our families, because the man is the head of the household. I know a lot of women, in this modern age, they women, we like to call ourselves bosses, but I still feel that, and the Bible said it, the man is the head of his family.
but Martha, I want to say something, right? The man is the head of the family, yes. But as I said, you got to move in modern time, and it still have something, so what, an even yoke and equal yoke, right? I feel that when a man have a child, and for whatever reason the relationship doesn't work out, that man should always know that he have a child.
Yeah.
Because even when he probably married to somebody else, he should not forget that child. That child, especially if that child is under parental care. And a lot of this is happening where men should I say fathers, have children, and they don't look back for the children, and then they get another set of children with this probably their wife, and they just leave these other children. And as you very well just said, when these things happen, it can affect children in a lot of ways. If you go to the prison and you ask the majority of some of these persons that are incarcerated or getting in trouble over and over, a man was not strongly involved in their life. Whether their parents, whether their father is a pastor, whether he's a politician or whatever,
no matter what.
if they was strongly involved in this children life, making time, the same time they put in for their jobs, the same time they put in to be in power, the same time they put in to be in the rumbas, the same time they put in to be with women, sports, is the same time or even more you should put in your flesh and blood.
Absolutely, because that's your seed. You should water your seed.
Absolutely.
Once you water your seed, it's gonna spring, and then it's gonna mature. I didn't have my dad for a long time. My dad died when I was 8. We didn't have a lot. My dad didn't have a lot because, as I said, he worked in the sugar house up at Bird Rock. But he spent a lot of time with us. I could remember my aunt Dika. She had her little tray that she would sell on the side of this, like up by Pack Range, on Brand Street area, and we loved going by her because we'll get our sugar cakes. We got the tamarind jam. We got the bread nuts.
Whatever
and
little
just
they have,
those little
they share.
activities. We spent a lot of time together. Not only that, back in the days, you know what we used to call window shopping.
Yes.
When TDC would have their windows all decorated and Horsfords, and we would go to town at night, and we would just window shop because that's quality time you spend. And I remember we would stop by Mr. Craggs, the ice cream shop, and he would buy us the popsicles and the creamsicles. And as I said, we weren't rich. We didn't have a lot. But
that's when St. Kitts was like more like a family.
Absolutely. And the discipline. I was talking to one of my sisters the other day, and she was telling me she remembered one of my brothers brought, I think it was a game or a little car from a friend. I guess the friend lent him. And my dad walked my brother right up the village to the people's house to take back the car. My dad used to say he does not want anything sleeping in his house that does not belongs in here.
You see?
If I go to the neighbor and I bring $1 or anything over, he would tell me carry it right back over because it's not sleeping.
And Martha was just 8 years old and she remember all of this. You're on the Real Talk with lovely lavish Lavi right here in St. Kitts and Nevis, WINN FM. All those that are in tune right now, we welcome you. I've seen a number of persons on the thread. Rabuka Hobson, he's on the thread with us. He said to tell you good evening, Marva. There's Celine Tobias. So we see in the Bastia Massive. And it is very important because I know how those persons feel out there, they being outside of St. Kitts and just being able to connect with somebody that is still bringing and, information of what is happening here in St. Kitts and Nevis. The diaspora, they want to hear more than gun shooting. They want to hear more than the politician and the war and the tribalism. A lot of them welcome these kind of things. And I just want to take the time out to anyone that wants to be on the show. Please feel free to inbox me, reach out to me, or you can reach out to even WINN FM. Leave whatever message you can. This is a place where you can find people regardless. And just come on the show, share your stories, because the men in our beautiful federation, they're missing in the home. And it is more than being in the home, in just being in one portion of the home. A home have what? A kitchen, a bathroom, a bedroom.
Of course, yeah.
You know we're going with this.
Yeah.
Right? So, and we are coming too much of a norm to accept men that just want to have the multiples of women. And, it's in the Bible, if you don't have any monies to support women or family, you should not even be having all these multiple relationships.
When you were talking about, men have children and then when the women finish, done as well as call it, and move along with another woman, right? But then, no. My thing is the other woman who he move along with, if she is not encouraging him to support his children, then to me, she is not a real woman.
Speak it, brother. Because
here what will happen. He will get children by her. When he move along from her now, it will be the same recycling. He's not gonna study her children. So the cycle can just keep going
The
over and
cycle.
over and over and over. So if she's a
Absolutely.
real woman now, she would make sure that he's look for his
His-
outside child as well. Because we have to say what it's his. And it is a part of her also because they're together.
I never hear talk so yet. Look, we got to talk more father talk.
The thing about it, Laverne, is that I
Yes.
always say, when it comes to when it comes to two parents, even if there's conflict, you don't care for each other, you don't like each other, you should try to be at least on amicable terms. At least have that respect for each other, because at the end of the day, the child is the most important aspect in the relationship. It's not about you, it's not about her. It's about taking care of that child, molding that child into the individual that it's supposed to be, so that when it becomes an adult, it can sustain itself and make the right decisions to be a good, decent human being. But as you were saying, a lot of the times the relationship breaks, the marriage ends, the relationship ends, and so we become selfish. We start thinking only about ourselves, and we do things to hurt the other person. And we have to also look at it too, that sometimes when the relationship is broken, the females sometimes try to spite the men also from being
Yeah.
in from
The
taking
child's
that
life, yeah.
family role also.
Right. And
So
as Mabel just said, he raised something that is absolutely true. And when you have a man and he decide to get a woman, that man has to always think of that whatever woman he's going to bring in his life, especially if he have a child, she must have parenting qualities.
Of course.
Most men do not look at these things, but now is the time, because we're saying this is the young generation, but right now the way how the world going, at 18 to under 25, if you don't get it, because this is not back then, because remember, we don't really even have that family like before, because people are traveling now. So some children, when you finish school, they send away these children, and some of these children, they have the qualifications, but they don't have that family love. What they have is what the family give to them. But in terms of the appreciation and the gratitude to basically want to give back to others than just taking.
Back in the old time days, the Marva could tell you, like, we had one TV in the house, right? So everybody sit down as a family and we watch TV. Right now, we don't have that. Everybody got a TV now in the bedroom, or they got a cell
absolutely,
phone.
the
So that take
family
away from the
dynamic
family.
is not there.
And you know
Absolutely.
what I find too? There's a division with parents in terms of when especially the male, when he get a child, sometimes the woman family, because they say that you're not a grandmother if you don't have a girl child. So sometimes the woman, her family will be a little more closer, because that's the mother. She's gonna go to her mother, right? But as Marva said, if we have real strong leaders, it is that man duty to let that man know that that wife and that wife family, he have a family too.
Yeah.
So sometimes we see in all these things, and people putting this stuff on the media, and one family showing all the time, and sometimes the one don't be showing is the one that really to be doing it. Think about it.
Yeah. You see when
The thing
they
about
post
it to
all the
Laverne is
children.
that men need to
Yes.
band together. They need to be supportive to each other. They have to support each other when it comes to, as I said, I just need to be like a band of brothers. Because when we were growing up, the community raised our kids. You know how many times the neighbor chased me home
Yeah.
It
when I
is
was down the street?
right.
Oh, you need to go home. I'm going to tell your mother I see you down the street. Now it's completely different. The community doesn't care. The neighbors don't care if they see you doing anything wrong.
It is
Back in the
it.
days,
It
you
is
had people like Earl Clarks
Hola.
right.
who
It is
they would see you, and Mr. Clark would, well, you're not in school. They would chase you home. oh, I'm gonna tell you, Mom, I saw you down at this store idling, or you down at Simaco idling. So you had that reverence for people in the community. But now is the thing about is that the community to me is like they have just let the kids to me, just letting children just pretty much just do whatever they want for one. And we have this attitude where we say, oh well, you're gonna drink your water and mind your business. But at the end of the day, we should all be helping each other.
All
We
right.
should
It
be
is. It
helping each
is
other to
eight.
raise our kids.
It is eight
I had
fifty.
my nephew living with me,
Marva,
Omari.
Marva, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
It is 8:52, so we don't have much time. 9 o'clock is just here. Not
Hmm.
cutting your class, but somebody is just saying it's not just St. Kitts alone. Mothers don't want the kids to interact with their father. It happens all over. And this is the whole point that we are saying. When we having this kind of discussion, we always saying it's not St. Kitts, it's not just St. Kitts, it's other
Yeah, well, we
people and
live in St.
whatever.
Kitts, so we have to
We
look out
live
for
in
us.
St. Kitts and we have to deal with St. Kitts because um, some of those other places, there's a lot of protection for women. You
Absolutely. And
understand? So we have to be
that's
very
going to be a
careful when
condition
we're
till
gonna
I
say,
die. So,
yeah, we got to be very careful when we're gonna say it's not just St. Kitts because some of those places overseas are protected. Matter of fact, even for instance, the Great America, they actually will take away your passport. You can't even travel because they have a lot of database to stop and fight some of these things. We don't have them down here in St. Kitts and Nevis. And that's a very valid point that that person said. But in the meantime, this is what the program is for, is to help and encourage our people that live here, some of them who have not even traveled, and to give us a self and awareness, to actually let's walk our talk,
Yeah.
right? The men in St. Kitts and Nevis, they need to step up the game.
And we don't even have much, men's group.
Right.
We have a lot of women group.
right.
Absolutely. There's someone is saying, I remember when we never have any TV and our neighbor used to open her window for us to look over and watch her TV. Them days
Absolutely.
was good days.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is 8:53. Marva, we definitely, every time we come here, we tell everybody they have to come back with the discussion because we really try to bring real grassroots discussion. And now that I know Marva is open for this kind of discussion, we will have to actually welcome Marva back. I mean, I feel so much at home. She's on via Zoom right now, and I just feel like Marva is just across here with us talking
Yeah.
because she's one of our own. So Marva, I'm gonna let you wrap it up, and we can always continue this discussion because this is very important. Fathers, they're just gone, and giving fathers gift certificate and baskets and all those kind of things is nice, but we really need to see our men really taking on the role, the father and the brotherhood role in this federation. A lot of the guys that are in prison, if you look at the ratio when it comes to women and men, the woman is very, very slim. I mean, if sometimes if we have over 10 people in the prison as female,
Yeah, that is true.
you have a lot. I mean, for some other place, when that's really good. That's a low number. But when we look at some of these young men in prison, and just there because we don't really have a rehabilitation
Yeah, program. Yeah.
program, like really a place,
Yeah,
a prison that is really built for to really help these people elevate themselves. Right? We're gonna be taking baby steps because nothing happened overnight, but this is where we can come together as a people. People, I am not here trying to be cute. I just try to be here to present these programs and make them, not just go down the drain and people forget about them and we let politics just take us over and we basically are minding other people business that ain't have nothing to do with us. Because at the end of the day, the killings that are happening here in St. Kitts are mostly young men. The people that are being incarcerated is young men, and it is from a particular race, which is the black race. Marva, I'm going to let you do some closing remarks, and I'm hoping to talk to you some other time, okay?
Sure, absolutely. I want to thank you and Win FM and for my nephew Marvin for the opportunity to have this discourse with you good folks. As I said, I looked at the topic as very befitting because I said Father's Day just, was a few days ago.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, it's very heartbreaking to see the amount of murders and the amount of young men that I've seen being killed in St. Kitts. I am a Kittian. I tell everybody every day, I'm I'm a
You
Kittian.
have a
I'm
half
from
a
St.
minute.
Kitts.
We soon reach up to 9 o'clock. Sorry to
So
rush you, but
I
we'll
just want to say that, as I said, we just have to take our homes back. The men have to take their homes back. They have to take their place back
absolutely.
in the
So,
home,
right. So I want
and
to tell
just
you
stand
thank you
together.
so much for being here. I definitely gonna talk to you off here to get you back so we can continue this discussion because it's not just about
Absolutely.
Father's Day. Right. So thank you so much for being here, Marva. We love you here at Win FM and with Real Talk.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
All
thank you
right.
as well.
Good
Marva,
night.
good
Yeah, good
night.
night.
Good night. Very good discussion. I
Yeah.
just want to let you guys know. Once you want to be on the air, like I said, just let me know. You're welcome if you're a Kittian and you live overseas or wherever you are, whatever you have to bring that is positive that can add to someone else's life. We welcome you. I also got to let you guys know that Real Talk is no longer on Mondays. It is on Wednesdays. It's a 1 hour program. And tonight's topic is basically talking about the men
Men.
in the home, in our society, taking on the father's role and being able to be a positive
A leader for
impact
your home.
to your home. And this is how we're going to end it. And we'll talk with Lavi. Have a wonderful night.
And we're out.